Hello everyone, it's Teresa with Critters Crochet, and I'm here today to share with you a tutorial on how I made this bag. And for the tutorial today, I'm going to be doing this in two parts. Part one is going to be showing you how to make this stitch called the diamond stripes, and showing you how to put it together, and we're going to work on the body of the bag. That involves showing you the stitch and having you work that up to the size you want, and then showing you how I did these side seams. Then part two, the next video, which will come out in the next day or two, will be showing you how to put the liner in, how to line your bag, and then how to make the strap. So for part one, and for what you need for this bag, in this tutorial, I'm going to be making a smaller version of this. So just for the tutorial purposes, but what's wonderful about this pattern is you can make this bag any size you want. Or in any color. You can do this. I did this, the pattern where I got the pattern for the stitch, when I learned the stitch, shows you to do this in 3 different colors. You can choose 3 different colors. You could do this in one solid color if you wanted to. It's totally up to you, and that's what I love about the patterns that I plan on doing, that I like to do, are patterns that are adaptable. You can make it your own, and that's what I love about this pattern. So what you're going to need for this bag, let me put this to the side. You are going to need a measuring tape, okay? Your scissors and your tapestry needle. I used 4-weight yarn. So my favorite hook is an eye hook when I'm using 4-weight. This is a 5.5 millimeter. This is a Furls hook. You can use any hook you want, but I really like the 5.5. Most of the time when I'm working with 4-weight yarn, that's just my go-to hook. You could use a 5 millimeter if you wanted to. If you want this to be a tighter stitch, just adjust it to the hook size you're using. Okay, and the colors that I'm using for the tutorial today, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver, and I'm going to be using these 3 colors. I'm going to be using this gray, light gray. I'm also going to be using, this one is called Amethyst. I really like this purple. I think it's so pretty. And I'm going to be using Pretty in Pink. Okay? Pink and purples are my colors. I absolutely love my pink and purples. And so that's what I chose to do for the tutorial today, is the pink and the purple. So remember, you need this bag. I used about 2.5 ounces per color. So it really does not take that much. These Red Heart skeins, Super Saver skeins, have 7 ounces in them. So it's more than enough, no matter what size you decide to make it, okay? So remember, your eye hook, 5.5, scissors, tapestry needle, measuring tape, and I'll be showing you the reason for the measuring tape later on. And then your choice of yarn. Okay, so we're going to get started. In this pattern, it's called the Diamond Stripes, and in this pattern, for my bag, I chained 61. Okay, if you want your bag to be this size, my bag, let me go ahead and do this real quick. My finished bag measured about 16 inches by the body of it anyway, by 12, 16 by 12. Now yours, like I said, you can adapt yours to any size you want. But, and I thought this might make it easier. Let me write some things down for you. What this is with this pattern, let me see if I can zoom this in just a little bit so you can see this better. Okay, for this pattern, it's a multiple It's a multiple of 3 plus 1. Okay, so you can make that any way you want. Once you've done, so what this means is when you see this in a pattern, when it says multiple of 3 plus 1, that means you're going to stitch multiples of 3. And when you get it the length you want, then you add one more stitch. That's for, the 1 is for a turning chain. And then I'm going to add, at the end of that, then I'm going to add 3 more stitches, which will count as your first double crochet. Okay? And that's going to count that last, every time we do a chain, that's going to, in this pattern, that's going to count as your double crochet. Okay? So what you want to do first, choose the way, I think I'm going to go pink, then gray, and then purple. So let's get started with our pink. And let me move this over a little bit. And we're going to get started with our chain. First thing you're going to do is make a slip knot, which this is how I do it. There's so many ways to do it. But I just wrap this around and I stick that yarn through here and make a loop. And then I just put my hook right in that loop and tighten it up. Okay, so we've got our slip knot, and now we're going to do multiples of 3. And like I said, I'm going, for the tutorial purposes, I'm not making my bag in the tutorial as big as this one, but we just want to make our chain of multiples of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a chain is just yarning over and pulling through that loop. 7, yarn over, pull through your loop. 8, yarn over, pull through your loop. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm just going to quickly do this. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about half the size of the bag that I've made. And so I went with, for this tutorial, a chain of 27. Then you did your, that's your multiple of 3. I'm getting ahead of myself here. That's your multiple of 3. Then you're going to add 1. And then to start off, to get our first double, we're going to chain 3 more. So that would actually equal to, for starting out, if you want to make a smaller bag, a chain of 31. This bag that I made has a chain of 61. Okay, but like I said, this is very adaptable. These numbers, the numbers that I'm using may not be your numbers because you're going to make the bag the size that you want. Just be sure that you're doing multiples of 3, and then when you get your multiples of 3, adding the 4 other stitches to it. Okay, so what I like to do, and I did not bring mine over here. 1 second, let me go get it. I'll be right back. I realized this when I was making my bag to get a row counter, because I thought, oh, well, this is a 4-row repeat, okay? But it can be a little confusing on, for me it was anyway, how my brain works. It was a little confusing on, okay, am I on row, because you repeat rows 2 through 5. So am I on row 2, 3, 4? Trust me. So what I would do is I get my counter. When I start doing my repeats, then I would get my counter out and I would just go, okay, this is row 2. And I would, 2. This is row 3. I'm on row 4. Row 5. Then I'd clear it and start over 2, 3, 4, 5. So that way I knew exactly what row I was on. So either a row counter or just a pencil and paper where you can write down and keep track is going to save you a lot of time on this project. So for row 1, for your first row, you are going to double crochet. You're going to count the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, so this is your first chain. and this used to confuse me when I first started crochet, you don't count what's on your hook. You start right here. This is your first chain. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my hand in the way. Let me move over. This, you don't count the chain that's on your hook, but you count 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is your fourth chain. This is the chain that we will be going into. So you want to yarn over, and you're going to make a double crochet. And to make a double crochet, you yarn over, you go into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you have 3 loops on your hook. So then you go through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there's your double crochet. Your chain also counts as a double, so now you have 2 double crochets. And you're going to then, for row 1, you're going to skip 2 chains. So you've already worked into this one, so you're skipping 1, 2, and go to the third one. And you're going to do 3 doubles in this third chain. So 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3 doubles in there. Then you're going to repeat. This is going to, for row 1, here is your repeat, okay? You are going to, repeat this. Skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and then 3 doubles in the next stitch. Whoop. Okay. 1. Remember, yarn over, go into your stitch, yarn over, 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay? And you put 3 of those double crochets in that stitch. Okay? So, you're going to repeat this until you get to the last 3 chains. So I'm going to pause right here, and I want you to work on your 3 doubles. Remember, skip 2, 3 doubles in the next stitch. Skip 2, 3 doubles in the next stitch, and I'll be back when I get to the end of this row. All right, everybody, we have, I've come to the end for row 1, and I've done my final, let me put this down here where you can see it. You should, well, I can't tell you how many because that depends on how long you're making yours, but you've done your last 3 doubles in the stitch, and you have 1, 2, 3 chains left. So you're going to skip 1, 2, and go to that last chain, and in that last chain you are going to place 2 double crochet. So we insert our hook and yarn over, 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that one more time. Double, double. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't realize my hand was up. So you have 2 doubles on this end. You have your 3 doubles in each stitch, and then 2 doubles at the end. So that is row 1. Okay, that's row 1. So for row 2, we're going to turn your work, and then you are going to count 1, 2, 3. Chain 3, that's going to count as your first double. You're going to skip this first. When it calls in the pattern to skip the first double, that means the same double that your chain is in. So you're going to skip this one, and you're going to go into this second stitch, and you're going to put a double crochet right in there. So you skip the first stitch, put a double in the second stitch. Now we're going to chain 2. Whoops. Oh, sorry about that. Got a little hung up. 1, 2. So we'll chain 2. And then we're going to do a double crochet 3 together over the next 3 doubles, okay? So here's how we do that. You are going to yarn over, and we're going to pretend like we're putting a double in here. You start it by putting your stitch, yarning over, and you've got your 3 loops. So when you do one together, that means you go through the first 2, but you're not going to complete that double. Leave these 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch. Remember, we're doing this over the next 3 stitches. Yarn over, pull up your loop, and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now you have 3 on your hook. We're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, go into that 3rd stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go through 2. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. So to complete this cluster, then you yarn over, and you're going to pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And that is your 3 together. And you can see how, let me lay this down, by doing that, you can see how that forms that diamond shape. You've got here and here. So that forms your diamond shape for the diamond stripes, okay? So we're going to do that again. After your cluster, you're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do another cluster. And you don't skip any stitches with this. You go right into the next stitch because we're putting these 3 together. Each one of these, sorry about that, I keep moving my hand. We're putting all 3 of these clusters together so we don't skip. Chain 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, and we're going to do another cluster. Yarn over, just pull through 2. Leave 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through just 2. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you have your 4 loops on your hook. Then you want to yarn over and finish the cluster by pulling through all 4 loops. Then you chain 2. 1, 2. You're going to repeat this all the way down your length of your row, however many clusters you did. That's what you're going to do. Let me do one more, and then I'll leave it up to you to finish this row, and we'll be back. Yarn over, go into your 1st stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. You did that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 2. That's your 3 double crochet together, okay? So you're going to repeat this across your row until you get to the last double crochet, okay? So I'm going to stop right here, or you know what, there's not that many. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and you work along. You can work along yours. You can pause the video if you need to and then restart it when you're ready, when you get to the end, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. And I'm going to work this until I get to the end of the row. Mine is not that long. Instead of pausing the video, I think I'll just work to the end. Chain 2. Let's get our clusters in here. Whoop. And like I said, how many clusters you have depends on the size of your bag and how long you made your chain. So that's going to depend all on your preference. And I am so excited to be sharing this with you because I love this stitch. It's quick, it's easy, and it's easy to get the hang of pretty quickly. I can't wait to see what you all's bags are going to look like. So I have a Facebook page, and it's also called Critters Crochet. If you'd like to join that page and show me your progress of your bag. All right, I'm up to my last, oop, I didn't chain 2. I'm up to my last cluster, so I need to do my last 3 crochets together. 1, 2, 3. All right, now at the end you're still going to chain 2, and then you're going to skip this stitch right here, and you're going to go into the top of your chain 3. Now sometimes that can be hard to see. Let me point this out to you. This can be hard to see sometimes, so see if I can get this in a little closer where you can see it. There we go. Your chain is right here. Here's the first chain, 1, there's the second, and there's the third. So that's where you're going in. You're going into that third chain right there. 1, 2, nope, I can't see, and I counted it wrong myself. Let me do that again. I gotta stretch. If you stretch it out, you'll see it. This is where your double is. This is where your chain begins. So you've got 1, 2, 3. That's where you're going to go in. Now you can also look at it this way. This is your top of your double. You want to go into the chain that's this is the top of your double. You want to go into the chain that's right beside it. Okay, so we've chained 2, and then we're going to go into this chain right here. Some people like to do into the V. I just go into the top of the chain, and I didn't yarn over. So we're going to yarn over and go right into the top of that chain, and then finish our double. All right, so let me show you this again for row 2. Let me back up just a little bit. For row 2, you have your chain 3. Okay, you went to the next stitch and did your first double, chain 2. Then you did your 3 double crochets together, chain 2, 3 double crochets together, chain 2, 3 double crochet, all the way to the end. You did your chain 2, and then your final double crochet, or excuse me, you do 2 double crochets. I did this, I am so sorry. Let me do this again. Instead of a double crochet, because look, you've got to do the same on each end. You basically have 2 double crochets here, so you want to do 2 double crochets together. So what you do is at the end you have your chain 2, and then you're going to go into this chain, and you're going to do 2 together in the same chain. So you yarn over, go through 2, and remember, stop right there, yarn over, go back in that same chain, pull up a loop, and go through 2. And this time, instead of 3, we're just doing 2. And then go through, you'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through 3. So that's your 3 together. Sorry if that was confusing. But you can, like I said, you can slow your, slow it down, take your time. Okay, so now, normally, I'm going to take this back out because this is where we're going to, if you're doing this in more than one color, this is where you're going to change your color. Instead of yarning and pulling through your 3 to make the cluster, you're going to stop right here and drop your color. I'm going to pick up my gray. Get a hold of my yarn here. I'm going to pick up my next color, second color, and I'm going to just put that on my hook like this and then pull that through. And that finishes off the pink. Still leaves that stitch, but then you've started your next color. And what I do is I'll take that and just do a chain, right, kind of like a chain, but that just joins it, and I just do a little tug. That joins my yarn. So then you can turn, once you've got that second color on, you turn it, and for row 3, we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. That's your chain 3. Let me back this back up so it's not so in your face. And here's where I go ahead and cut my first yarn, color A. I cut that, and I leave a little bit of a tail so it's easy to weave that in at the end. And what's nice about this is it's you do 2 rows for each color, so all of your ends are going to be on the same side. So it makes it easier to weave in when we're finished at the end. Yeah, and I know we don't like to weave in ends, but sometimes we just have to. It'll look pretty, I promise. So we've got our chain 3, and we finished row 2. There's 2. Now, for 3, we've done our chain 3. That counts as our first double. And now we are going to do, this is an easy one. Your repeat is just 3 double crochets in each chain space. So we yarn over, and you've got your chain. So you're going to go right into this first chain 2 space, and you're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Let me pull some more gray out here. Sorry, keep dropping my yarn. 3. Okay, there you go. You've got your 3 double crochets. No chain after this. There's no chain after this. You just immediately yarn over and go right into your chain 2 space and put in 3 more double crochets. Let me pull some more of this yarn out. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, go right to that next chain 2 space, 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yarn over, next space, 3 double crochets. And you're going to do this in every chain 2 space down your row. 2, 3. Okay, you're going to put these 3 crochets in each chain down your row across until you get to the end, and then you're going to put 1 double crochet in the top of this turning chain. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you need more time, just pause the video and start it back up when you're at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and just continue. 1, 2, 3. One. Since I'm doing a smaller portion, it keeps me from having to stop the video so many times, and that's just less editing that I have to do at the end. So 3, 1, 2, 3. And I can't give exact counts and numbers on these because, like I said, you're going to make this bag the size that you want. So it's what you prefer. So your count all depends on the size of your bag. All right, I'm at the last chain. On mine, I'm at the last chain 2 space, so I'm going to do my 3 doubles. Well, if my hands would cooperate with me. 2, 3. All right, so we've got all of our 3 doubles in each chain 2 space. We started with 1 double over here. So we have to put 1 double in the end. So that's where you come to the top of your chain 3. And you place 1 double crochet. Okay? Move some of my yarn over so I can get to this. Now, you're at the end of row 3. Let's click that to row 3. And we're ready with row 4. You're going to turn your work and you're going to chain 4. That's going to count as a double plus a chain 1. Okay, so we have our 4. You're going to skip the first double. Remember, that's the first one is considered the one at the bottom of your chain, the base of your chain. So you skip the first double, and we're ready to start doing our 3 doubles together. Okay, now the reason I told you that it would be smart to really watch your count on your row, which row you're on, is because if you look, we're only doing 1 double crochet and a chain 1 for the top of this one. When we did the top of this one on our second row, we started with 2 doubles together. Okay, we're not doing that on this one. That's where I got confused. I was constantly wanting to do this every time I did the top, thinking, oh, this is easy. It's different. Row 2 has 2 doubles together. Row 4 is just 1 double with a chain 1. Okay, so it's different. So that's why you need to keep up with which row you're on. It'll save you from ripping out. I'm not kidding. So then we immediately want to chain our yarn over and do our 3 double crochets together. And I'm going to show you how to do that once again. So we'll go in here and we go in our stitch and yarn over and pull through 2, just 2. Don't complete the double. Yarn over, go into the second double in that cluster or in that shell, draw through 2. Yarn over, go into the third double of that shell, yarn over and pull through 2. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and this time we are going to chain 2. You had 1 chain at the beginning, you're going to have 2 chains now after each cluster. Okay, after each 3 double crochet together. So chain 2, go right into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, insert in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, stop. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 and chain 2. And you do that all the way down. Do your 3 double crochets together on top of each of these shells, okay? And I'm going to do that real quick and I'll meet you at the end. So 1, 2, whoops, went through too many. 2, 3, all through for all 4 and chain 2. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do this down the chain. Pull them together, chain 2. Some more yarn here. Okay, another cluster. Another 3 crochets together. Chain 2. 3 double crochets together again. And guys, please, in the comments below, if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm learning as I'm doing these tutorials. I hope I'm going at a good pace where you can understand. But if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments. I do look at them, I do read them, and I will respond. So if you have questions, let me know. You can also, like I said, go to my Critters Crochet Facebook page, and I'll put a link to that in the description box at the end of this video. And you can post your progress and you can ask me questions there. If you don't want to ask them here, you can ask me questions on the Facebook page. All right, I'm at my last shell, so I'm doing my last 3 double crochets together. Well, get in there, silly. 4 loops left on my hook. yarn over, go through all 4, chain 2. Now at the end of this, we're on row 4, so at the end of row 4 you're going to chain 1, just like we had at the beginning. You're going to do the same on both ends. So you chain 1, I chained 2, sorry about that. You chain 1 on your last cluster, and then you're going to put 1 double crochet at the top, which is right here, right beside this last stitch. You're going to put a double crochet at the top of that chain, and that's your 4th. And now you can see how these are making the diamonds. It's so pretty. That is your 4th. Now, I finished it. Let me pull that back out. Let me do that again. You did your chain 1 for your cluster. Then you're going to yarn over and put your double crochet in the top of that chain. Whoops. Split my yarn there. You go through 2, but wait, before you finish off that double. This is how I change colors when I'm doing a 1 double crochet. You don't finish it off. Okay, the last stitch that will finish off is where you stop, and we're ready to bring in our 3rd color. Mine is the amethyst. I'm just going to loop that around my hook again and just pull that right through those 2 stitches to finish off that double crochet. And I just pull that gray a little bit to tighten it just a little. And then, like you do a chain, just to anchor it in there and pull it tight. Turn your work, and for row 5, okay, we're going to start row 5. For row 5, we are going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you have your chain of 3. Now I'm going to go back with my scissors and I'm going to clip that 2nd color. Cut that off so it's not in the way. And all of these, if you see where it's kind of big and bulky, that's going to all this big and bulky, don't worry about that. That's all going to take care of itself when we seam it up and sew our sides together. Okay, so we've chained our 3. We're going to do a double crochet in the first double, which means the double crochet right here, where, and mine's kind of big and gloppy, but right here at the base of our chain. So you're going to do a double crochet right here at the base of your chain. Okay, so that's kind of like having your 2 together. So we do that 1 double at the base of the chain. You're not going to do any chains after this one, no chain after that stitch, but you're going to go right in to right in between your 2 clusters right here. And I already see where I made a mistake. I only chained 1. You should have chain 2 in between. I've got a chain 2. You can see my chain 2s, but for some reason I didn't realize that, but I didn't do a chain 2 right here. Anyway, we're going to pretend I did a chain 2, just don't tell anybody. And we are going to go right into here, into that space, and we're going to do our 3 double crochets. 1, 2. See, even you can do this, guys. Mistakes are fun. They're happy. They're happy little mistakes. So yeah, we're going to roll with it. So you put in between each one of your doubles, in between each one of your clusters, there's no chaining in between. You just go right in and you put your 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Next space, 1. Next chain 2 space, 2, 3. Okay, 3 doubles in each chain 2 space. I'm going to finish this row and I'll see you at the end. And you're going to repeat this all the way across and I'll show you what to do at the end. So 3 doubles in the next space. Ah. 2, 3. 1. Ah. 2. 3. Well, keep dropping my yarn. 1. 2. 3. 1. 2. 3. All right, I'm at my last. I've done my 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space for my to make those shells. So I'm at my last chain 2 space. We'll put 3 doubles in there. Okay. Then you're going to come to the top of your chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Right here. This is a stitch. This is your top of your chain 3. You're going to put 2 double crochets. Let me get my hook in there. Because remember, you have 2 double crochets at this end. The chain and the double counts, that chain counts as a double. So 2 crochets here, so we have to put 2 crochets at this end. So 2 double crochets, 1, 2. And that's your row 5. Okay. Now, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. You're going to repeat now rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 until you get your bag to the height that you want it. Okay. So let's go through again. We're going to chain 2, excuse me, we're going to turn our work. Let me clear this off. This is where you need to keep track. Okay, so row 2. And you can always, what's really great about these videos is you can always rewind, go back to where, and start again at the beginning and watch these. And you can slow it down. You can rewatch it as you need to finish your rows. But we're going to do this again. Row 2 is, I'll tell you what, let's do this. And then you can turn this off. Okay? So, here's your repeat. You're going to repeat rows 2 through 5. So it's a 4-row repeat. So row 2, you're going to chain 3. Okay. Then you're going to skip the first double. Skip the first double crochet. All right. Then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay. You know what? That's going to confuse you. I'm sorry. I'll edit this out. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. Row 2. We're going to do this repeat one more time, and then I'm going to let you do your work. Row 2, chain 3. Well, if I can get my yarn to work with me. Chain 3. Okay. Now, you will do a double crochet in that, not the base, not the first stitch, but the next stitch. You want to do another double. So that's like having two together, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to make your clusters, okay? After you've done that, on row 2, you're going to chain 2. And then you're going to start putting in your 3 clusters, okay? 1, but don't complete it. Yarn over, go to the next stitch. Okay, yarn over, go into the 3rd. Well, okay, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 2. Y'all, pull through all 4, chain 2, yarn over, the next 3 together. 1, 2, 3. And remember, you're only pulling through 2 at a time to get them together. Then when you have 4 loops on your hook, pull through all 4, chain 2. Do this all the way down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, Teresa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 2. Three together again. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, 3 together. All 4, chain 2. Oh, sorry, got out of the window. Didn't realize that. 1, 2, 3. Pull through all 4. Chain 2. 3 together again. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, chain 2. Okay, then you're going to do 3 together in your last one. 1, 2, 3. Go through all 4 loops, chain 2. Well, let's do that one again. I think I got tangled up on one of my stitches. Let's try that again. One, 2, 3. There we go. Yarn over all through, pull through all of these. Now you're going to just chain 2, and you're going to do 2 together, 2 double crochets together in that last stitch. See if I can get some more light on this. Okay, so you yarn over, go into the top of that chain, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over, go back into the top of that chain, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that makes your 2 together. Now we have done 2 rows. Each time you complete 2 rows, let me go back. Each time, while I'm fixing this, each time you complete 2 rows, that's when you're going to change color. You're going to change color after the 2, well, after the clusters you're going to change. Okay, here we go. Now, instead of finishing that cluster like I did, it's time to go back to your first color. So I'm going to get that pink. I'm going to grab it and change my color again. Pull through to finish that stitch. Okay. And we're going to turn. And row 3, we're going to chain 3. Okay, we're starting row 3. Chain 3. And in each space, this is our easy one, in each space you're going to put 3 doubles. This is the bottom of your diamond. All right, this is the bottom of your diamond. I'm going to just tug to get these little strings here just to make that tight. No chaining in between. No chaining in between, just 3 doubles in each chain 2 space across, okay? So let's do that all the way across. Whoop, almost put 4 in there. Just 3. 3 doubles in each chain 2 space across. I'm still trying to learn how to edit. So guys, you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see my little bloops and oops and oops in this one, because I've still not learned exactly how to edit all of this out, which, I don't know, might not be so bad. So, well, I'm going to try to edit some of these little goofs out of here, but you might still see a few. All right, just about to come up to the end of this row. This is row 3, the second row in the repeat. All right, so we are going to do 3 more. Yep, we're going to do 3 more. I had to look at my notes to be sure I was doing that right. And then we're going to put 1 double, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, third chain. We are going to put 1 double crochet in the top of that chain 3. Okay, turn your work, and we're ready for row 4, which is a chain 4. You can remember this. This is the only row that you'll chain 4 instead of 3. So row 4, chain 4. You can remember it that way. That's your double and a chain 1. So what you're going to do after you've chained 4, then remember you're skipping this first double crochet, and you're going to go right into that second one, and you're going to do your 3 double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next one, pull through just 2, whoops, yarn over, go into the next one, pull through 2, you have 4 loops on your hook, pull through all 4, chain 2, And you do this all the way across your 3 clusters together. I'm going to do this pretty quickly since we've already shown this before at the beginning. And remember, if you're not sure, you can always go back. When I was learning to crochet, I did that a lot, back and forth in videos till I got the hang of it. So that's what's great about the YouTube tutorials. You can do that. 1, 2, whoops, 3. Yarn over all 4, pull through all 4, chain 2. Okay, 1, 2, whoops, 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. Okay, guys, you don't make that mistake. Rip yours out and redo it, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to pretend that's not there. If I was really doing this, I would take that out and redo it, but just for the tutorial sake, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just put 2 in there. If, you know, if it was really something I was making for real and not the tutorial, I would rip that out and redo it. But you guys can just kind of overlook that, and we're just going to move on and pretend like I had 3 stitches in there. Sometimes I get going so fast, I get carried away and I mess up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Whoops, whoops. Do that again. 3. 4 loops on your hook. All 4, chain 2. All right, 1. Sorry, I keep going out of frame. 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull through all 4. Okay, and then at the end of this one, you're just chaining 1, and you're going to double in the top of that chain 3 turning chain and do 1 double crochet in the top of that turning chain. Okay, and I did it again. We've done 2 rows in this color. So remember, every time you do 2 rows in a color, you change to your next one. All right, so now we're ready. We did the pink. We're ready for our gray again. And this is row 5. So we're going to join that in. Turn our work. Row 5, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to double in that first stitch, which is at the base of that chain. Pull some more yarn out here. 1, 2. Okay, so we've got our chain and our double. Okay, right there. I'm going to pull my little strings here just to, not too tight, but a little bit. So here we go. Now, you've got your double and your chain in your first double. You're going to skip that chain 1 space right there, okay? And you're going to hop over to this chain 2. Skip this space because you've already got a double for it. Go to this next chain 2 and you're going to do your 3. You're going to make your shell, your 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it's just 3 double crochets all the way down. 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 double crochets all the way down this row. Let's do that really quickly. I think I just pulled a stitch out. Yep, I sure did. That may be why I end up with 2 doubles in that one spot. I pulled it out and didn't realize it. Okay, so let's do our 3 all the way down this row. And this will be the last row of our repeat. Because remember, we're repeating 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, guys, bear with me because I didn't chain 2 right there either. Y'all just be nice to me. It's my first tutorial. If I was doing this for real, for a customer, or even for myself, I would rip that out and redo it. But it's a tutorial. You know what we're doing, so I don't feel like I need to do that. But if you happen to do that, you'll probably want to take that out and redo it. Seems like when I try to show somebody how to do this, my mind goes faster than my hands, and I think ahead, and so I skip a lot. All right, so I went into my last chain 2 space, and what we're going to do is we're going to skip this right here. We're going to chain. I need to look at that again. Nope, we're not going to chain. We don't chain in between. We're going to go right in 1, 2, 3. There's the 3. We're going to go on the top of that chain because this was the chain 4. This was the chain 4 from the previous row. Now remember here we've got a chain 1 in between these two. So that's why we chained 4, so we can have our double and chain 1 at the end. So you've got a chain 1. You're going to go into that top of that third chain, 1, 2, 3. Okay. You have 2 doubles on this end. So we're going to do 2 double crochets, not together, just 2 double crochets at the end, at the top of the chain, turning chain for row 5. Okay. So there, we've done. Let me put this out here. Let me back up a little bit so you can see this. So let me show you what we have, guys. We have, oh, and I didn't cut my color from the last one. There we go. Let me get some of these little stragglers out of the way so you can see this. We now have, let me pull this out. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So your repeat is 2, which is the top of your diamond, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to keep repeating rows 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you get the desired length of your bag. So this is part 1. What I want you to do is continue the repeat. You can always go back in the video for each row if you forget how to do them. Okay. Row 2, let me just tell you this again. On row 2 is the bottom, or excuse me, the top of your diamond. So it's a chain 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, row 2 is still the same color for the top of your diamond. It's a chain 3. And you will place a double in your next double crochet. And then it is chain 2 and making your clusters. Chain 2, making your 3 together. Chain 2, 3 together. Chain 2, 3 together. Okay, that's your row 2. All right. Row 3, chain 3 and turn. Okay. And it's just no chain. Just do your chain 3, and then it's 3 doubles for a shell in each space across. 3 doubles. And then a chain or a double crochet in the top of your turning chain at the end. Okay. Row 4 is where you chain 4. Okay. You chain 4. I guess I need to be turning that, but you're going to do your chain of 4, and then you're going to have 3 double crochets together. Okay, you chain 2 in between each one, and it's 3 double crochets together. Then your row 5, you chain 3, double in that same stitch, chain 2, or excuse me, chain 1, and then you're just repeating 3 your shells in each of the chain 2 spaces across. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Please, please, either in the comments here or go to my Critter Crochet Facebook page and ask me questions. I will help you. Please ask me questions. So this is the end of part 1. Your homework is to finish your body, and what you want to do, you want to make it long enough. You want to make it long enough so that you will be because you'll be folding it over like this to make your bag. So you want it twice the size of your bag so that you can fold it in half to make your bag. So when we come back on part 2, I'll have the body of my bag finished, and I'll be showing you how to seam it up and how to work on the lining. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. I can't wait to see you all's progress, and I'll get back with you for part 2. See you later, guys. Bye.